Hey guys, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tag video, and this is a really fun tag. I wanted to do this. I think I saw some other people doing it last year, and I was planning on doing it, but then I was tagged by Morgan from Morgan's Endless Bookshelf to do this tag. That is the reader profile tag. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. Thank you very much, Morgan, for tagging me, because now it gives me an excuse to do it early. So yeah, we're just going to dive right in. Is it the reader profile book tag or is it just the reader profile tag? I don't know. Whatever. It's that one. So anyways, we're just going to dive right in. And I hope I don't look ridiculous wearing this thing. This is a sweater my sister just got me, but I have a feeling it makes me look like a fuzzy pink cousin to Chewbacca. I don't know if it really does, or too pale or something. So let me know what you think about it. I'm not quite sure what to think about it. I like it, but at the same time, I'm like, does it really fit me? Fit me as in a personality, not as in wearing it. But anyways, that's beside the point. Let's just get into the questions because that's way more productive. Okay, question 1. What for you makes a good book? So this is one of those really loaded questions. This is one of those I could go into a probably 2-hour-long dissertation about, or 5 minutes. It could go either way. So for me, what makes a good book? I would definitely say solid characters. Characters I can like, in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, likable characters or characters I can connect with in some way. That's definitely the biggest thing. The next would be a decent plot. This is not always the case. I have read several books before where the plot is kind of a mess, or it's very basic, but I enjoy it anyways because I like the characters. So plot is secondary, but a good plot is helpful. And there are very few books where I like the plot over the characters. Yeah, about the only one I can think of where I enjoyed the plot more than the characters is the Hunger Games trilogy. I enjoyed more what the author was saying with the plot and like the dynamic of the games and stuff than I ever cared about Katniss or any of the other characters. Another one where the plot was at times more interesting than the characters is the McKillian trilogy by Molly Evangeline. Wow, I forgot her name for a minute. That series, yeah, I didn't really care about any of the characters, but the second and third book especially, the plot was more interesting. And it's like I cared what was going on, but I also didn't care about the characters. That was a very strange thing for me. But yeah, so plot's secondary. Prose doesn't really matter to me. I've read books with very basic prose that I enjoy, and I've read some with more like poetic, flowery prose, and I've enjoyed those as well. So I think it's more just the characters. The characters and the plot. The prose is kind of really third on the list. So yeah, I do like books that evoke some kind of an emotion in me, some kind of a feeling. That's kind of a little more vague, but I like to feel something when I read a book. Just not, negative feelings. If I'm feeling extremely frustrated or extremely like I want to throw the book out a window, that's not the type of feeling I'm talking about. Feeling of like, just positive feelings, that sort of thing. Yeah, I have to feel something. I mean, I've read books before where I don't really feel much at all, but even if the feeling is just, I want to keep reading because I want to find out what happens to these characters, that's a good enough reason for me. So yeah, not just, there's also the feeling, of course, of me, I just want to read this because I know if I put it down, I'm never going to pick it back up again because I'm not enjoying it that much. That's not the type of feeling I'm talking about either, even though I do that, and I should probably just learn that about myself and quit the book while I'm ahead. If I feel that way, I should probably just quit the book right then. But sometimes I fool myself into thinking I'm enjoying the book. It's a whole thing. So yeah, that was a very long-winded answer. Let's go on to the next question. Question 2, what are you currently reading? Okay, so I'm gonna have to grab them. I forgot this question was in here. I'm currently reading 2 books. Overall, I'm reading My Hero Academia Volume 23, and the series as a whole, pretty much fictionalized. This is the only thing I've wanted to read because I keep hitting duds and roadblocks with the ebooks, so it makes me not want to read them. So yeah, I've just been keeping up with My Hero Academia. really enjoying this. And the other one I'm reading is Save the Cat Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody. This is a writing craft book that I'm also really enjoying and could be really helpful for me for like somewhat plotting in the future and like knowing beats of plotting and stuff like that without feeling like I'm in a box or being trapped. So like I often feel with craft books or like information type videos and stuff like that. So yeah. These are the two things I'm reading currently. All right, question 3. What's the last book you didn't finish and why? Okay, so the last book I didn't finish was The Fair Account of the Traitor Snow White and Rose Red. So, this is an ebook I planned to read last year, and I thought I'd try it this year. I don't even think I got... Did I even get to 7%? I think I only got to like 4%. I didn't even mark this on Goodreads. And I just started reading it, and I could tell right away I didn't like the main character. I didn't really like her attitude. I didn't like the situation, and I could kind of tell where the story was going just in the fact that it was just going to turn into a giant sister spat thing while the world's ending, and they're gonna just be arguing for no stupid reason whatsoever, and just, I don't know, I just didn't like the vibe of it. I didn't like the main character. So I was like, okay, I'm done. So I moved on. I deleted it from my Kindle and I moved on with my life. Question 4. What obscure book do you wish other people would read? Okay, so, first of all, I'm just going to say, like, look at any of my recent reads or reading wrap-ups. I'll leave a link to that playlist down in the description. Pretty much most of the books on there are indie print books, and I would say pretty much any of those, especially the ones I really liked, of course, but I'm going to highlight just one per, like, category, so to speak. So my favorite obscure middle grade series that I would highly recommend other people check out is what used to be called the Horse Angel series. It is now called the Horse Guardian series by Angela Dorsey. This is like a supernatural type, at least there's a supernatural character who she comes in and she helps these different girls and their horses throughout a variety of different situations. Each book, it's a new situation, new characters and stuff. I enjoyed this book, this series. Darkfire is the first book. Yeah, and okay. Yuck. There was something weird on that. Okay, anyways, but yeah, I've just always really loved this series. I remember first reading this book and just being completely sucked in, when I was younger, and yeah, I've loved it ever since. These hold up well, even when you're older, and I just really, really enjoyed these, and I wish more people knew about them and just about her writing in general, especially if you like more slightly supernatural stuff in your books, but it's also set in real life, in reality and stuff. So yeah, I would highly recommend this series. For young adult, I'm kind of going to go off of my general track of recommending fantasy. I'm going to recommend an old favorite of mine, that is Intermission by Serena Chase. This is Christian contemporary romance. Yeah, I know, between two theater kids, and yeah, I really love this. It's definitely, I think this might be one of the first books I read with like the forbidden love trope. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's really moving. It also deals with the topics of parental abuse towards a child, so more like mental, emotional, narcissism type things. So yeah, I really liked it for that. It's a little heavier in some cases for that, but also it maintains that lighter tone of being a romance and stuff. So I really enjoyed this one. I really need to reread this one at some point, but I have no doubt I'm really going to enjoy this again. Also, Serena Chase, if you're thinking contemporary romance really is my thing, she also has a young adult Christian fantasy series. I haven't read that one yet, but I have the first book and I really want to get to it at some point. But yeah, but she does have that if that's more up your speed. I think the first book is called The Rin. I'll put the cover up here. But yeah, I am looking forward to trying that one too eventually. Then I'm just going to put this in for like the new adult category. I have the books, but I don't have them out right now. I'm going to say the Shadows Creed Saga by Noelle Nichols. The first book is Shadow's Hand. This one is it's like an Asian fantasy. It's really good. There's currently 3 books plus a short story and a novella, like a prequel novella and a prequel short story, out right now. And these are really good if you like nature type things and more nature like descriptions and stuff, like really good fighting, really good character development and arcs and stuff. This is a really great series. I thoroughly enjoy it. Also, if you really like anime, manga, that type of thing, I think this would be up your alley because it's very much has that flavor, especially if you like samurai stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed this series as well. And for my adult recommendation of obscure books, I'm going to say Dark as the Night by Miriam Neal. This is a Christian, I almost threw the book. This is a Christian urban fantasy dealing with like vampires, werewolves, definitely has a lot of blood, so be aware of that. But yeah, this is just real people going through real situations. Well, I mean, minus the vampires and the werewolves. And I really enjoyed this one. We follow mostly Scata, but we also, our main character, but we also follow other characters as well. And Angel, the vampire. He is the literal best. I love him. He is just the best. And every time I look through this book and read some of his lines, I start cracking up laughing because he is just that awesome and that funny. So yeah. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this one as well. And I really like the aspects of how she puts in Christian elements and like conversations about God and stuff with the whole supernatural aspect. So yeah, it's very good. It's a very unique story. So yeah, if you're looking for something really unique, this one's a good one to go with. Question 5. What's the longest book you've ever read? Okay, so I had to look on Goodreads for this because I couldn't remember, and there was no way I was looking through all the big books I have. So aside from like omnibuses of like a whole series, which those are like thousands of pages and stuff like that. So aside from those, according to Goodreads, the longest book I have read that I've recorded, and I'll mention why I mentioned that in a minute, is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So this looks different because it's a special edition cover that I have. I got this, but yeah, here's the original cover. It's on the inside. But yeah, this is a special edition, like dust jacket or something like that. I'm actually not sure what edition this is. I just found this in Goodwill. But anyways, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, it's 850 pages? Is that what it is? No, it's longer than that. It's 870 pages. At least this edition is. I think on Goodreads it said 850, so that might be a difference in editions. But yeah, this is, they said, the longest book I have read. Also, it's really heavy. Also, I just thought I'd mention the next 3 because I thought I thought it was very interesting, the lengths of them. The next one was Flashback by Shannon Messenger, so this is part of the Keeper of the Lost City series. It was like clocked in at 800 and some pages as well. And then the third book, longest book that I've read, is Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is part of the Lunar Chronicle. This is the last book in the Lunar Chronicles series, and it's 800 and... If I could reach the last page, it'd be helpful. But no, it doesn't want to turn. Okay. 823 pages. So yeah, I'll put Flashback's page number count on the screen. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that there were 3 completely different things. 2 of them are middle grade series, which is interesting. Yeah, so I say they're the longest ones I've recorded. I have also read in the past, I read The Host by Stephanie Meyer, and I know that is a chunker of a book. I think it's 1,000. I think it's close to 900 to 1,000 pages, but I don't think I have it marked that I've read it on Goodreads. I probably should mark it, but yeah, so technically, if I had that one marked, I think that one would be longer than these, but I can't guarantee that because I don't know the page count of it. So yeah, those are the longest books I have read. Question 6. If you could have a dinner party with 5 fictional characters, who would they be? Okay, this one was really hard. So, and I forgot. I was gonna update this and change some of my answers, but we're just gonna do this off the cuff. So the first one would be, okay, I don't know if this is cheating because they're technically movie characters, but it says fictional characters. It doesn't say book fictional characters, so I'm just running with it. I'm gonna say Rapunzel and Eugene from Tangled because, yes, I would love that. I'm gonna say also Yona from Yona the Dawn. And then, let's see, that's 3. 4 and 5, I'm just gonna put Kyron and Jace from Ilion Chronicles. Like, there's a lot of characters I would probably want to hang out with, but they're the top ones. And also, I'm just, even though it's 6, I'm just gonna add in Hawk as well from Yona of the Dawn, because he's always where Yona goes, so he'd be there. Even if he didn't eat dinner, he'd just be bodyguarding outside the door. I mean, he'd still be there, so yeah. I'm just gonna say all those characters, because, yeah, I didn't really know who else to pick. But yeah, and also they're some of my top favorite characters, so yeah, I would definitely want to hang out with them. 5 books you'd want stranded on a desert island. So, we're just going to assume I have, like, the Bible tattooed, like, on my arms or something, and, like, the verses change constantly, so we're just going to exclude that obvious answer for this, and we're just going to go with the fiction books I'd want. So, the first one I'd do is Ilion Chronicles. I picked Resistance for this, but technically if I was stranded on a desert island with any of the books, I'd be fine with it, because I love all of them. So, yeah, I just pulled this one because it's, like, the most obvious one, and also I love this cover to death. But yeah, if I had just any of them with me, I'd be completely happy with that. Okay, the second one is going to be volume 30 of Yona of the Dawn. If you've read this series, it's for obvious reasons, and it's one of the ones that ends pretty happily, so I'd be happy with just having this one and not the rest of the now 43 volume series with me. But yeah, this one for sure. Then I have Cinder Stars and Glass Slippers by Brittany Fisher. This is my favorite written Cinderella retelling of all time. Yeah, I would definitely want this one. It's also a chunker, so, and so is Ilion, so it would, like, take me a while to read through it, because, you know, if I'm on a desert island, I'm also probably looking for ways to survive and stuff, so I'm not just reading the whole time. And I had The Lady of Lanneria by Michaela Bush. Rapunzel retelling, Christian fantasy, one of my all-time favorite books. Yes, this is definitely going on the list of, I would definitely want this one with me. And, okay, and also in the same vein, I'm going to say A Dance of Rebels by Michaela Bush, because I love this one almost as much, actually, yeah, almost as much as this one. I probably still like this one a little bit more, but yeah, I still really enjoy this one, so yeah, I would definitely want both of these as well. So, yeah, those are all the books I would want with me, but this was a really hard question because I'd want, like, multiple more, but, you know, I'm also stranded on a desert island, so, you know, it's not like I got a choice in the matter, so here's that. Question 8. One book you could not put down. Okay, so I'm going with recent events here in one book I could not put down. That's Winter Cursed by Nikki Chapaway. Wow, I was going to say the wrong author for a minute. But yeah, this is a Snow White retelling. It's a novella, and it was very captivating. I just wanted to keep reading it because I wanted to see where the heck it was going and how these characters would keep getting out of these situations. So yeah, this was one of the more recent ones I've read that I didn't want to put down for obvious reasons. Oh yes. This question, the most polarizing question probably on this tag. Question 9, 5 books or authors you will never read. Okay, so at some point I am going to do the anti-TBR tag, so I'm gonna go with, like, the more basic version for right now, but who knows? This is me. I'll probably go off on who knows what other tangent. I have some written down, but yeah. Anyways, for fantasy, we're gonna go with the 3 most obvious ones. I'm never reading anything by Sarah J. Maas. I'm not interested for one, and for another, just no. Cassandra Clare is another one. No. Like, maybe at some point in my life I could have been interested in The Mortal Instruments, but I've heard enough about it that no. No. I enjoy listening to people talk about it and roast it, but I would never read it, so no. Or any of her other books, just no. Fourth Wing. Definitely no. Yeah, just no. This is too much, like, just too much of things I don't like stuck in one book. And it's also like a it's gonna be like a 5-book series now or something ridiculous like that. It's like, it doesn't even sound like it has enough plot to fill the first book, let alone more, but what do I know? But no, never reading this one. Also, this one's gonna make several people mad at me, I'm sure. Okay, let's just get this one out of the way. This is a Christian, like, kind of fantasy, speculative fiction author I will not be continuing trying to read. It's Morgan L. Bussey. I know, I can already hear multiple people already typing away in the comments and yelling at me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I tried really hard. I read the Ravenwood saga. I did not care for it. I know that is an extremely unpopular opinion. I did not care for it. It was fine. I just didn't care. I didn't like certain ways that it ended the series as a whole. It was just there. And then I tried her Soul Chronicles. I think that's it. It's a duology. It's a steampunk one. I think she wrote it. I think it was like her first series or something like that. I tried that one. I couldn't even get through the first book. I don't know, there's just, and then I skim read that one in the second book, and there's just something about her writing, something about the way she ends her stories, and just something about it that I just don't click with. There's just something about her, like, they always sound very interesting, her stories, but every time I try to read them, they're not interesting. I'm sorry. I know there's multiple people, probably most of Christian BookTube, who reads fantasy, who likes these books and her author. And that is great, and I really wish I did too, but I've tried and it's just not working. I'm sad about it, but I've also come to accept it because it's just not gonna work for me. So, yeah, there is that. Okay, I have this one written down. I'm just going to say this one because I think I was going to change it with something else, but then I had too long of a break between coming up with these answers and filming this video, so we're just going to go with this one, and this is a manga series, and that is Prince Freya. Okay, I tried this one as well. I tried the first 5 volumes of this series, and volume 5 is still one of my most funny to date roast reviews of all time on Goodreads. Oh my goodness, there is so much wrong with this. When they compare this thing to Game of Thrones, they are not kidding. Like, they are not kidding. If you even know anything of an inkling about Game of Thrones, you know it has adult situations and questionable violence and all kinds of strange things. This manga series, I don't know how much further it got. I'm sure it got worse because the volume I quit, I was just like, my goodness. I'll leave a review to that volume, which is volume 5, down in the description in case anyone's curious. But no, this was horrible. No, just no. I'm not touching this with a 20-foot pole. Just no. No. Okay, so yeah. So, those are my polarizing opinions for now. Until I decide to do the anti-TBR book tag. That could be fun. Anyways, question 10. If you were to write a book, what would it be about? Okay, this is the last question. So, as many of you, if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know I am a writer. I'm hoping to be a published author at some point. So yeah, I am writing a Christian epic fantasy. No, wait, let's try that again. I'm writing a young adult Christian epic fantasy series. This is it's a currently 4-book series. Currently. This video will go live before a vlog where I mentioned that whole thing, but yeah, it was originally a trilogy. It's now 4 books. It's a thing. Yeah, I'll have that vlog up at some point in the next few weeks or so, so you guys can see my interesting journey with that. But anyways, yes, this is a very epic fantasy trilogy, basically good versus evil, end of the world, that type of thing. Think like Lord of the Rings, that type of vibe. Yeah, comparable titles to this series would be like the Blood of Kings trilogy by Jill Williamson, the Ilion Chronicles by J.L. Knight, and kind of Lord of the Rings, and kind of a little bit of some of the, like, magical elements, or, some situations of, say, the Chronicles of Narnia. Not entirely. Narnia was an influence, but it was a very light influence, but yeah, those are, like, the, comparison titles that I have for this series. So, anyways, the first book, we meet I have 2 main characters. I have dual protagonists. First one is Vienna. She is let's see, how much can I say? Okay, how much can I say without it being a spoiler? So, everything I'm going to be mentioning about this book is could be pretty vague, but also detailed enough. Hopefully, trying to get people interested in it, but also, may not interest you. That's totally fine if it doesn't. So, anything I'm going to be mentioning here in, like, what the book is about is going to be within, like, the first 4 chapters of the book. I don't think that's too spoilery because that's kind of what you would get in the look inside feature, like on Amazon or something. So, especially for I think the length of book this will be, I think that's good enough. So yeah, we're just gonna go with that. So I have dual protagonists. My first protagonist is Vienna. She is an 18-year-old girl. She, lives on her family's farm on the west side of Crete-Lee because the series name for this is Crete-Lee Chronicles. And Crete-Lee is my nation. And yeah, in this world, Crete-Lee is split in half. The nation is divided in half, not literally. It's just like it's ruled by one side. One side's ruled by some people, the other side's ruled by another. They were once one united nation. They're no longer. So, on the west side, where Vienna lives, there is a superstition that if you have a birthmark, you are cursed. Your whole family is cursed. You're just basically doomed. And Vienna has a birthmark on the back of her neck, and she has been labeled cursed. Her family hates her for it. They abuse her for it. So she's basically stuck because they can't get rid of her because nobody wants a cursed. They can't kill her for the same reason, because if they kill her, the curse will get worse. So the superstition goes. So she is basically stuck. She is stuck in the situation. And yeah, her only friend in the world is her horse, Braveheart. So they're kind of like, it's kind of the two of them against the world. Unfortunately, weird things start happening where this man suddenly shows up and tries to talk to her. She gets creeped out vibes from him, so she runs away. She also has the ability to sense emotions. She is an empath, so to speak. So yeah, she can sense other people's emotions, and she just gets a really bad vibe from this guy. So she runs away from him, but later on, he tracks her down, and he buys her basically as a slave. So, and her family is like, great, we can just get rid of this curse off our hands. So they sell her, and they sell Braveheart, and yeah, Vienna's life is not looking so great now. Then our second protagonist is Flynn. He is, basically a forced thief. He has no way to get out of his current situation. He has been kind of trapped by these 2 other guys that he lives with, like, if he tries to run away, they will track him down and they will kill him, and he is, like, too afraid to do anything. So he's, like, he tries to make the best of his situation. He tries not to steal unless absolutely necessary, but he is a thief. He feels a ton of guilt about this. And then things go really, really bad because he is coerced, basically, into helping the 2 thieves that he lives with to attack this caravan of East Siders who are strangely on the west side for some reason, because that's not really a thing that happens, but they are heading to the place where they are. So they raid them at night. Unfortunately, in the incurring fight, where the thieves, basically they said, hey, we're just gonna rob them, so, whatever. So, and, you have to help us, Flynn, otherwise, or we're gonna kill you, like, once and for all. So this is the only reason he's there, is because he doesn't want to die, and he also knows that these guys are ruthless, so he wants to make sure that they don't just start killing people, which is exactly what happens. They aren't just stealing from these people, they try to start killing them all. So Flynn is trying to stop them, and winds up being basically forced into manslaughter, and he kills someone in the group, and he is, like, completely traumatized by this, and he's like, I never wanted to do this. So he, not caring anymore if the thieves kill him, takes off. He runs away. So yeah, and in the incursion, and in that circumstance, things happen, and Flynn comes across Vienna with her new owners, and he sees her in trouble, and he frees her, and they take off together, because, like, she knows nothing about the world, and he's like, hey, I can help you get to a safe spot where nobody will find you. if you want, and she's like very reluctantly agrees to go with him because she's like has no other options. And yeah, that's basically the start of the story, and it goes from there. There's a lot of other things involved, other characters that show up. It's a huge series with a big world and big stakes, but yeah, that is the main start of the story. And yeah, it basically, the first book goes over like trust, and the themes are about like trust and what real love is and things like that. The second book goes more into themes of forgiveness, while also carrying over themes of trust and love from the first book. Most of these books do carry on the themes of the previous book into the next book, along with going through their own things. Yeah, the third book is what I'm currently writing right now, after much trial and error over like 3 years. So yeah, that is the one I'm currently writing right now. But yeah, the first 2 books are actually completely written. The first book I'm considering done. I have edited the thing to death. I just need a professional editor to look at it now. The second book still needs some polishing, and some like word cut snipping because it is way too long. But yeah, but both books are pretty much done. The first book I'm considering wholly done. The second book is still kind of in the editing stages. But it is like plot and character development wise, it's pretty much done. So yeah, book 3 is the one that is the bane of my existence right now. But I'm working through it, and yeah, I'm enjoying what I have so far. A lot of it's being reworked from 3 other previous drafts I have, well, partial drafts anyways. So yeah, that's what I'm currently working on. That is my current series, and there are other books I definitely want to write and want to explore and stuff, but Creatively Chronicles has been my main focus for the last probably 10 to 11 years of my life. It is like just me incarnate right now are these books. So yeah, those are the books I would want to write and am writing. There are also others, of course, but yeah, because I constantly just have stories bouncing around in my head because that is who I am. So yeah, that is it. That is the tag. Those are all the books and questions answered. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not going to tag anyone because I honestly don't know who's done this. I feel like everyone's done this one, and I'm one of the last few who hasn't done it. But if you see this tag and you think these questions look like a lot of fun, and you either want to answer them down below in the comments, or you want to make your own video about it, please feel free to say I tagged you, because I'm just going to leave it open for that, and if you want to say somebody tagged you, you can feel free to use my name. And yeah, just link me so that I can see your video, or let me know in the comments, and yeah, and then I can see your video. Or again, if you don't have a YouTube channel and you want to answer these questions in the comments, feel free to. I'd love to see your answers. And yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my rambles. Let me know. I am kind of curious, because this is kind of like my first time outside of friends and family getting outside opinion about my story. So, if you feel so inclined, I would like to know what you think the first part of my story, how it sounds. Like, does this sound interesting to you? Are you just gonna be like, nah, fantasy's not my thing, whatever, so this doesn't sound interesting at all? But yeah, I would be curious to know what people think of how my story sounds, because yeah, this is like literally my first outside opinion. And you know, that it might not seem like that, but it took quite a bit of convincing on my part to actually lay out that much of the storyline, even though it's like only the first 4-ish chapters. But yeah, so yeah, I would be curious to know what you guys think of my story. Does it sound like a good idea? Does it sound like something you'd be interested in reading? I'd love to know. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!